Awesome. Y'all are in for a treat. Sorry it took a little bit. I don't know why I didn't put buffer space between the last speaker and the keynote speaker, but I will do better for that next time. But I do want you guys to know that this is one of those talks that I really think is going to change your entire experience of what we're going to go through and what we're going to learn, because Akiesha actually just launched Ask Akiesha on Instagram. So go find her, Ask Akiesha. But she literally is the person that I give credit to for getting my first legal paper published, and being one of my few friends that used to eat grits all the time. That is what I remember in law school. Her face isn't seen, so I don't want y'all to see her reaction, but that was her whole rule in law school. And I actually followed her for some period of time. So I thought it might help me lose weight, but it did not work for me. But it did work for Akiesha. So that's a cool, weird fact. But I mean, again, what would I be except for me? In my keynotes, we're always going to have some good personal memories. So this is one of Akiesha's flyers. And then, of course, this is the other flyer for Akiesha. But you guys should just really, really, really tune in, lean in to everything that she has to say. And again, share this video, share it as many times as you can. Once you hear it, share it with everyone you know, because I'm pretty sure you're going to get a lot of massive insight into this. And Akiesha has said that she would love me to refer her some business and be a business consultant with the Nina R. Spear Law Firm. So she will also be someone that will be someone we can refer you to if for some reason you have interest in her field or wheelhouse. So without further ado, Akiesha, are you ready? I feel like you're ready, but I just wanted to ask. All right. So go ahead, Akiesha. It is your show.
Thank you for that, Nina. Life is a series of dreams realized. You do not have to be defined by one dream. You do not have to be defined by one title. You do not have to be defined by one career path. You can change it up as you go, and every step leads to the next opportunity. I recently came across this quote, and although I do not know the origins of it, I know that its essence perfectly captures me and my story. Hi, everyone. As you know by now, my name is Akiesha Anderson. And as you also know, Nina and I are friends from law school. So when Nina reached out to me to ask me to give this keynote speech on wearing many hats, my initial thought was, okay, I'm a lawyer, I'm a lobbyist, and I'm a new entrepreneur, so I guess it makes sense. However, a few days ago, as I sat down to prepare for this speech, I figured it made sense to try to write out a list of all the hats that I actually do wear. In that effort, I came to realize that I do so much more than just those three things. To be frank, writing out that list actually kind of exhausted me. So I stopped after a certain point. But just to give you a glimpse into what it was that was on that list, I'm going to share for you some of my current and past hats. So as I just stated, I am a lawyer, a lobbyist, and an entrepreneur. I am also a creative, an artist, a painter, a writer, a budding author, a photographer, and a videographer. I am a fiance, which means I'm an inadvertent wedding planner, and I'm a soon-to-be wife. I am a friend, a daughter, a sister, and hopefully a future mother. I am a rabble-rouser, an agitator, a dreamer, and a fighter. I am a former organizer, a sorority sister, a leader, a mentor, a mentee. I'm a law school admissions coach, a former law school admissions officer, and as Nina stated, I'm the new owner of Anderson Admissions Academy. I am the policy director for a nonprofit. I'm the co-chair of the National Lawyers Guild Alabama chapter, a charter member of the Black Women's Lawyers Association of Alabama, the chair of the NAACP Metro Montgomery's Legal Redress Committee, and the chair of the University of Alabama's Blackburn Alumni Network. I am an inadvertent voting rights advocate. I'm the former editor-in-chief for the Southern region of the Black Law Students Association's Law Journal, which is where Nina's article got published at. I'm the former notes editor of the Alabama Civil Rights and Civil Liberties Law Review. I'm the former attorney general for the Southern region of the Black Law Students Association. I'm a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. I am the former Miss Alabama State University second attendant. I am someone who is named most likely to succeed by my graduating high school class, and someone who was nominated for best all around and nicest as well. But here's the catch. All of those things I just named are positive. And when I say they're positive, what I really want to say is that they're just my highlight reel. Like most people, I'm really good at uplifting and showcasing the good and pretty parts of my life, but I don't spend nearly as much time broadcasting the uglier and less than pleasant parts of my life. In all honesty, there's probably an equivalent, not so good thing associated with every good thing on that list. But perspective allows me to remain in gratitude for the good and not spend too much time upset about the negative side of the equation. For example, I struggle a lot with mental health. I have anxiety, an attention deficit, and a host of other ailments that I don't often share. But I also have a great therapist and a psychiatrist, both of whom help me manage that part of my life. I also struggle with saying no, and I'm still learning to recognize when I'm doing something because I'm actually passionate about it versus when I'm doing something just because someone asked me to and I have the competency to do it. I also hold grudges. I don't always believe in being the bigger person. I'm a proud and pro Black woman who constantly has to navigate white spaces filled with microaggressions and misogyny. I can be arrogant and audacious, but also I'm sensitive and I'm low key an introvert. But all these things, the good and the unpleasant, are what make me me. And I think it's important for me to tell you all of that because when you look at me or anyone else who is deemed to be successful or to have achieved any level of success, I hope that you also see yourself. My story is not very different from that of many of you. I grew up in a single parent, working class household. I knew from a young age that education really was my key to a better future. And I fought like hell for every break I've ever gotten in life. Like many Black people in America, my goals have often been centered around survival. I don't come from a silver spoon in my mouth. And so I'm often concerned about both personal and communal survival. That's where the lawyer, the lobbyist, the agitator, the rabble rouser side of me comes from wanting to put food on both my table as well as the table of everyone that looks like me. But when I'm not in survival mode, I get to be in this place and space of ease and flow and creativity, of joy. That's where Anderson Admissions Academy comes from, where my painting and photography and other hobbies reside. But truth be told, these two sides of me really aren't that different. In many ways, I consider myself to be a creative. I believe in the power of my belief to create the future and world that I see. I believe in my ability to create the life I love despite the expectations and pressures of others. So, as a lawyer and criminal justice reform lobbyist, I believe in using my words and writing to create a counter narrative to the ones prevalent in our society. As a business owner, I believe in my ability to create a pathway for underrepresented minority students who are navigating the law school admissions process. As a fiance, friend, daughter, sister, I believe in my ability to encourage others to create an authentic life by openly sharing my hurts, pains, and struggles, as well as my ability to create a level of freedom for others to do the same. And in creating the life that I currently have, I've learned some key lessons along the way. Namely, there are 3 lessons that I want to share with you and others that desire to be or already are women like myself that wear many hats and carry and do a lot and do it well. So the first lesson, lesson 1, what other people think about you is their business, not yours. This is a lesson like the other 2 lessons that I had to learn the hard way. I spent a lot of time in my early 20s fighting back against the things that people said or thought about me. That's until one day, God spoke to me and asked me why. Why did I care so much about other people's opinions? Was there a part of me that secretly believed what they said about me more than I believed what his word said about me? And child, since then, my orientation to people's perception has been drastically different. I've come to realize that at the end of the day, my life and journey belongs to me and me alone. I've learned that I don't owe people explanations for how I navigate it, and I don't have to be everybody's cup of tea to be happy and successful. I've learned not to major in the minor and to stop going tit for tat with people. Oftentimes, deciding not to engage is the only way to win the battle. Lesson 2, you are more powerful than you know. Every time I have done something major and that brought me immense joy in life, it required me to push back against fear, like the intense, crippling kind of fear. The kind that says not only can you not do this and you won't succeed, but that also says everyone will see you fail and you will feel humiliated. While granted, there are lots of times I have failed, it was never as big of a deal as I thought it would have been. I didn't follow my face only to never get back up. I wasn't supremely humiliated. Instead, I was always one step closer to achieving my goal because oftentimes there is a lesson in failure. For me, failure means that I get to learn where my calculations were off and what to do next time to get things right. Also, all that imposter syndrome that says I'm not qualified or skilled or gifted enough to do something is simply wrong. Not only am I qualified, but I'm likely overqualified and possibly the most qualified person in the room. And so are you. Lesson 3. Having a trusted tribe matters. No woman is an island, and going through life alone, even for us introverts, isn't ideal. Surrounding myself with friends and other people who love me enough to encourage, challenge, and even call me out for my nonsense has been a major game changer in my life. Wearing many hats requires me to also have many advisors, folks I can go to and admit that I'm drowning or have no idea what I'm doing in any given instance, folks who can uplift and guide and strategize with me, who can make sure I can get things right. So make sure you get yourself a tribe like that. In essence, wearing many hats for me has really just been a matter of being committed to chasing my dreams and passions, even when they seem disjointed from one another. If nothing else, I dare you to have the courage to always do the same. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Akiesha, for giving us that great keynote address. So, I got questions. I don't have any audience questions yet. Hopefully, they do come. I do have some people that are consistently watching you straight through, but sometimes they're shy. I don't know why, but they come back later and comment. They just go back and it's something about like people don't watch it when it's live, but watch it later that I love. It just makes me feel like, oh, wow, you really, really love it. I saw people comment on videos for the law firm I made way back. So here are the questions that we have queued up to ask you and anybody who's a speaker, but you. I hope that you do exactly what I know that you will, which is to kind of give these questions that Akiesha flair. So the first one is tell me about yourself. Tell me about you, something that I can't find on paper.
Yeah, I think that in addition to all the things I just said about myself, I am truly a free spirit. And you know this because you know me, Nina. I kind of march to the beat of my own drum. I am really irrelevant or irreverent to most people. I do not believe that people have a heaven nor a hell to put me in, which means that I have this level of freedom that I really value and that I really chase after. And that kind of guides and influences my life in so many ways.
Awesome. So then the next question is going to have you boil down those answers, right? So, say who you are and what you do in just 3 words.
I am free.
Ooh, I like it. You made it a statement. You're probably the only one who's done that so far. See, I knew you would add your own key. So this next one is your ouch point, the let's get real part of, and if you joined my group, my Law Sister Circle group, the first thing I made them do was what? Change their name to their biggest failure, the thing that they're most ashamed of. Why? Because we're not trauma bonding. We're using it to build each other up. And if you did the exercise, then we take everything that we struggle with and we try to find solutions together. So what's yours that people probably didn't know?
Yeah, so I really love that you made this an activity in your group. And what I placed then as my name and my trauma point is navigating whiteness. Much like yourself, I went to a HBCU. And so I walked out of undergrad Black and proud and, just really aware of my history and my roots and my power. But as you know, the legal profession is very white dominated. And so I often find myself in white spaces where there are these microaggressions, there are, forms of misogyny, there is, this imposed imposter syndrome that I feel like is projected on me. And so navigating that is tough, to be honest. Being in rooms where I know or I feel or I can sense that I'm not necessarily wanted, but I'm tolerated, that's tough.
So that is tough. And not only is it tough, it is something that you're going to have to use now to say the positive. So, how do you take that hard, negative thing? Because that's what we do in the group. We don't just trauma bond. I'm going to just reiterate that we are not trauma bonding up in there. We do have trauma experience. And y'all, some of them share things that are just like amazing, but they are very hard things to deal with. So, how do you take the negative and not let it make you bitter and use it to make something positive?
This may sound silly, but I think the one tool that I have had to utilize a lot is I have to learn how to laugh at life. I have to learn how not to take myself so seriously. I have to learn how not to be so sensitive about everything and to joke. I mean, there are definitely times where I am in meetings and people make small jabs at me that I notice. And honestly, the first thing that goes through my mind is that's actually really funny. If it weren't about me, I probably would have laughed out loud. But I do. I go back and I share with my friends, like, listen to this funny thing that someone said today. So kind of making things into a joke or being lighthearted about things because again, unless I believe it to be true, people's words don't necessarily have the amount of power over me that I believe sometimes people wish they did. And so learning just what my power is and remaining in that space and being very aware of who I am despite what others say is really the only way that I think I can navigate these spaces.
Awesome. And so now we're going to get into one of your favorite areas, diversity. It is important, but what are you doing right now to be more inclusive and encouraging others to do that as well? I know this is one of your favorite topics because it's what you were passionate about throughout law school. We have a personal thing. I'm not going to share the story, but if you ever do, I know you've done it many times before, but diversity, what are you doing and how do you make people be more aware of how to be inclusive?
Yeah, I mean, I think this comes up in various ways. So instead of talking about my day job, what I'm really going to talk about is Anderson Admissions Academy because I think it ties into that. But with Anderson Admissions Academy, my goal and purpose is to get more underrepresented minority students or prospective law students into the legal profession. So I help them navigate the law school admissions process. And the reason I do that is because I often am the sole Black attorney in the room, the sole Black woman in the room. And so part of what I recognize is diversity does not matter to me just in this moment. It matters to me, 10 years down the road. So I want as many people who look like me or as many Black and brown or underrepresented minority faces as possible in the legal profession. And the main way that I can do that is by leveraging my knowledge from being a former law school admissions officer and helping, these students navigate the law school admissions process. And so what's really cool, I think, about Anderson Admissions Academy is that I recognize that many students that are navigating the law school admissions process are like me in the sense that they did not, or they do not necessarily know lawyers. They don't know people that they can go to ask questions about how to apply to law school, what steps they need to take, what they need to get on the LSAT, all that good stuff. And even if they do want my services, I recognize too that not everybody comes from a family where they have, a silver spoon in their mouth. So many kids have had to work throughout college, have had to earn every single dime. And so I appreciate that I do everything in my power to make my services financially accessible. I have a pay what you can model. So students that want my services, but, can't pay, the $15 for a call, but they can pay 15 cents. That's cool. Let's do it. If they can't pay the 15 cents and they really want a service, you can get it free. And so that honestly, I think is one of the best things I can do to diversify the legal profession is by opening up that pipeline so that more folks can actually come through it and be a part of the legal profession.
Awesome. And then this is a great one that I think you would be great at discussing. And what is your pro tip for others to use when they doubt themselves? So this is going to come up a lot, especially when you wear many hats. If you even have, right, what it takes to wear those hats and not drop one. So how do you help people with that pro tip that you give them?
I believe in keeping an affirmation book. Once upon a time, this was an affirmation jar. But basically, I believe in keeping record of all the positive things that people have said about you, all the good things that you have done, all the successes that you have achieved. And the reason I do that is at least for me personally, and I believe probably for other people, I have a good tendency of focusing on the negative in the moment. And it's hard to get my mind off of it unless I forcefully force myself to, stop thinking about the negative. So, for example, if something happens at work and you're critiqued, many people, spend the rest of the day thinking about that critique instead of, thinking about all the times that they didn't get critiqued, all the times they got applauded. And so keeping a list of your affirmations, the things that people have said about you that were positive, but a list of the things that are your strengths, a list of the things that you have succeeded at, helps you in those times when you're feeling down, because you get to kind of recall those other beneficial or positive things about yourself. And that is definitely something that helps a lot with doubt, especially if you're struggling with imposter syndrome and feeling like you don't belong in the room. That is something that's really powerful to help remind you, not only do you belong in the room, but you are bringing something of value to that room.
Yes, you are, girl. Yes, you are. And so now that'll bring me to my next point. And what was your innovative strategy to help you reinvent yourself during COVID? Because as you know, we were so restricted and it kind of changed all the ways we used to do business. Mind you, all I would like to go on record to say is that I always said that we needed remote work, and into the people's faces that laughed in my face when I wanted a job asking for remote work, that had to learn how to do it this year for the first time, whereas I've been doing it for the past 2.5, now 3 years of business. So on y'all.
That is a good question. I think I am probably unique in the sense that I actually started my business during COVID. So I started about 3 weeks ago. And because of COVID and the fact that we are, remote and, required to social distance or whatever, I have really benefited from being able to take advantage of the fact that, people are on the internet right now. And so I do most of my advertising, most of my, everything with my business via Instagram, which is really great. I have been around for about 3 weeks now, and I have right under 800 followers, which is very impressive for a short period of time. But I think taking advantage of the moment and capitalizing on the fact that, people are stuck at home, which means they are on their computers, they are on their phones. And so meeting people where they are has been really great and really beneficial to me so far. And so I'm super excited about that.
Awesome. And then this is going to be fun. Tell us about the reason for giving your lesson topic for today. Now, I know I kind of made you take this lesson topic. You didn't pick this, but why did you agree to it? Why did you say, you know what, this is definitely something that I could see myself in? I know you talked about it briefly at the beginning, but why did you end up saying yes?
I think what I really appreciate about this lesson topic, I think oftentimes I have seen speeches where people, say all the things that led to them being successful, and they share all the good about their life. And it's really easy to feel intimidated by that, or to feel like, that person just has a golden life. God really blessed them. I wish I was dealt the same cards. And so I really want to have the opportunity to share with people that actually everybody's story, every rose has thorns attached to it. So I want the opportunity just to be here and give a different variation of that spiel. Like, yes, these are all the great things happening in my life, but that isn't the full picture of people's stories. So I hope that I was encouraging to someone that people recognize that there's always, multiple sides to any story or any person's life, and that people feel encouraged and know that just because, there may be blemishes in your life and in your story, that doesn't mean that you're not still successful, and that you can't still do amazing things.
That is a great point. Sorry, I have my computer at an angle, so I can't see the cursor when it's over the button. So I'm pretty sure you never get anything wrong because you're always right. At least that's what you tell your fiance. But if you were wrong, okay, because we only admit this here, but when you have all the arguments, you will be right. Okay, happy wife, happy life. But what can you improve on in the areas that you're talking about right now? There's probably something that you still struggle with that you use to try to connect with the people that you serve. So what's an area that you still struggle with where you guys can make that connection and you guys go, look, I got this problem too, but I'm willing to work on it if you are. So what's yours?
So truth be told, Nina, I am an introvert, but I have people skills, but I don't always like interacting with people. So especially in my profession, I'm a lobbyist, so I have to talk to people all the time. And I really can improve on, and I've been working on this during COVID, um, improving on finding the positive in others and like really liking people, like genuinely liking people. And that sounds so awful, but that's so true. If I could like sit in my house, just me and my fiance and probably a couple of friends and never interact with the rest of the world, I probably would be a happy person. But that's not the way life works. And so getting out of my shell and making new friends and like interacting with people from a space of genuinely enjoying them is something that I could improve upon.
I am definitely with you on that. I know from law school, we used to have this back and forth all the time, like, Akiesha, we need to leave the house. Nah, I'm good. We here. It was like, you never want to leave the house. Never. Y'all, again, me and Akiesha are friends enough now, but we did have our falling out. It was over a boy. And I am glad that, again, we are connected for a long time and boys cannot separate us. But Akiesha and I have struggled with that back and forth since our friendship began in law school, because I was like, you never want to leave the house. I understand. And I'm an extrovert. So that's what I always want to do. And I want to leave the house. I want to go places. I want to go.
My fiance is an extrovert too, and it's so awful.
So I'm glad, fiance, that you are able to get her out the house sometimes, because I was proud the times that she would go out the house. So good job for you. But Akiesha, I'm glad that's something you were cognizant of and that you actually do want to work on, because it doesn't mean anything if I tell you to work on it and you don't want to do it. Because I can tell you one thing, y'all, Akiesha is stubborn. She meant that earlier. Like, she is stubborn. You will not change her mind. She is tenacious. She will hold firm to that. So one thing that I want you to definitely answer, because it's going to be very relevant, is that how can we better protect and support Black-owned businesses? And I think you're already doing that with your pay what you can model, but how can we also protect them?
I think something that we can really do, and I really appreciate, is I think that we should start seeing people as collaborators instead of competition. I recently did this really great collaboration with someone who literally has a business that's very similar to mine. She does document review like I do. She helps students navigate, the LSAT, which I kind of provide tips on, but that's not my specialty. But she messaged me on Instagram this morning, and we did a collaboration like earlier this week, where basically we both posted something telling people that in exchange for following us both, she would give them a free, LSAT prep course. And so basically using my page to help get, my followers to follow her and vice versa. And two of my followers would get a free prep course from her. So that helps me provide something to my followers, but also helps her get more followers. But so collaborating with her has been really cool. And she also reached out to me this morning saying that, she had a client that she just didn't have the capacity to work with. So could she refer them to me? Right. And so I just thought that was super gracious. And that's like a really great thing to do, because I think many times people look at each other like, you're in the same lane as me. Attack or protect yourself from this person, like the warning signs go up. But I think looking at each other as collaborators instead of competition is one of the best things that we as business owners can do to protect Black-owned businesses.
Awesome. I love that. And I actually really am about to steal this follower idea and ask you to do this like after we get off. I really want this to happen. So y'all did that because I want to do it now. So this is your $1 million idea time. And what I mean by this is, what is an area where you believe that you are expert in? And if somebody would just listen to you for once, you could really help them innovate a system that needs changing. And you can either talk about something that you do want to change, or you see that it's an inefficient system and you have been yelling for years, telling people to like fix it, and they just won't listen. I know you got a lot of soapboxes, but pick one, just one.
I think my one is meeting people where they are. So, for example, I spoke on how I am meeting students on social media. Instagram is my way of attracting the underrepresented minority students that I plan on helping. I think something that disappoints me about others that, are in the law school admissions realm that, care about recruiting students is that oftentimes, there's this focus on finding students and even law firms when they're recruiting for minority students. I think oftentimes there is this focus on recruiting students from certain predominant or, prestigious HBCUs, right? But there are Black students, there are minority students all over the place. And I think that we limit ourselves by, not finding them at all the places that they're at. And so I just think that in terms of really diversifying the legal profession, those of us that do the work and that care about getting more underrepresented students into law school, that we have to be more creative about how we reach those students. And we have to be more creative about where we go to find them, because there are more Black students out there than just who goes to, Howard or Morehouse or Spelman. And we have to be honest about that and really invest time and resources into finding those students and really helping them understand and navigate the process.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Meeting people where they are is so hard, and people just don't. I think that for Dear Future Lawyer, we came up with a care package. That was a way of meeting them where they are. So usually I charge I think $60 an hour for my consulting that I do, and I made a care package that was $75. You got a signed copy of the book. You got 2 hours of consulting. You got a free swag item, because I was just tired of not being able to help people that were just really, afraid of that $60 cost just for the consulting. So I wanted to do more. So before Akiesha Anderson came out here and just messed the whole game up, and now nobody's going to be able to go anywhere but Akiesha's part, because it's just too good of a deal to be true. But at the end of the day, that's something that I just wanted to do more for the people that I served. And I was like, well, now they get a copy of the book. And so I think I just got rid of my last paper copy of the book, and so I don't have any more with me. Of course I can order them, but I actually published a new book on the Amazon Kindle that's way more inclusive, and it has a directory for Black-owned businesses and other businesses that I have made friends with. And I prefer people to get that book now because it has the most updated information in it before I publish a new book, because y'all know I like books. But I say all that to say what you're doing, Akiesha, really is meeting them where they are, accepting whatever, that 15 cents. Some people would not accept that, Akiesha. You just be surprised. They're like, man, I ain't finna meet you nowhere to get no fit. I'll meet you somewhere to get $1. Akiesha said, I'll meet you. You gotta send me the $1. You said you was gonna send me. I'm just saying. But that's a really good model, and I think that it's a good thing to even push forward into a foundation, creating that foundation. So the money go to me, but it goes to Akiesha's foundation, so that I can continue to provide this for more people. And that is how you get big investors to donate. That's the venture capitalist that you need to go seek out, is somebody that wants to donate to the foundation of Akiesha Anderson. And we can talk offline about that. But Akiesha Anderson, the foundation, is what I see for you as we talking.
Amen.
What I see from that pay what you can model is that you need a fund to draw from so that you'll be able to subsidize what you need to live on a regular basis. And that's all you need, because then you can afford to do the pay what you can model, because you're paying yourself out of that foundation. And then the rest of it is something that you can provide to people as a pay what you can model. And if you sometimes get a profit, cool. But if not, you have it so that it's built so you can provide tools for people. So I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So the fun part. This is the fun part, because you just launched. So this is a good question. Do you have any job opportunities, remote internships, or even a mentorship opportunity that's upcoming that you want to tell people about, or, inform them about with Akiesha's, new venture? What do you have going on?
So I would like to think that mentorship opportunities is something that's kind of built into my business model. Although I don't have this on my website, I have talked to several students who want to do a monthly check-in with me. And so we just have a long-standing relationship where I'm helping them throughout the process. I would like in the future to be able to do an internship opportunity, particularly with someone who is good at social media, graphic design, that sort of thing. And so that is something that I hope to get up and running sometime in the future, but only 3 weeks in. I'm a bit too fresh for that. But yeah, so those are some of the things that, are either currently happening or in the works.
So now I'm at your favorite part. I know this is gonna be your favorite part of the whole thing. I know I've said I know which one's gonna be your favorite, but I know this is the one. Okay. So this is your time to talk about a motivational message you wish that someone gave to you. See, I told you, I can see by your eyes that this is what Akiesha been waiting for to talk to y'all about since day one.
Well, I'm actually going to change this. This is actually a motivational message that someone did give to me, that drastically changed the way that I perceived myself and navigated the legal profession. So my first summer in law school, I was fortunate enough to get an internship at a civil rights nonprofit, and literally I applied for this position knowing that it said it was open to 2Ls and 3Ls, and here I was a 1L, and I was like, no, I'm applying. And so I got this really prestigious internship, but the whole summer, or at least starting off up until this message, I was very intimidated. I felt very much, I was very aware of the fact that I was the only 1L there, or actually there was another 1L, but I was the only paid 1L there. And I just felt very out of place, right? So imposter syndrome all day, every day. And I just felt that, here I am, this like fresh baby law student who doesn't know as much as these people who have been in law school a year or two more than me do. Especially I was there with someone from Harvard who just like really intimidated me. But I also was only one of 2 Black interns, right? So legal profession, not very diverse. Neither are law schools, nor, internships. But anywho, I was fortunate enough to work under an amazing Black woman attorney who pulled me aside one day after, reviewing one of my writing samples and telling me it was great. And she told me from there on out, she wanted me to have the confidence of my white male counterparts. She said, I want you to always think that you are a white man the same age as yourself and walk with that same level of confidence. Like, your work is good. You are good enough. And I want you to like move like you believe that about yourself. And that drastically changed just the way I navigated from there forward. I think that there was this meekness about me, and just this like timidity. I was scared to talk up in meetings. I would like hold my comments until after the fact, etc. And she basically gave me a boost of confidence that I did not realize I needed, that really helped me from there on out, especially in the legal profession.
Yes, we have a term for that here at the Nina R. Spear Law Firm. It's called white man courage, repurposed as Black woman magic. And we continue to push that forward. But I like it. But eventually, we're not even going to need white man courage, right? We're just going to need Black woman courage and respective to our field courage, because at some point they are going to give us seats at the table, and at the table, but overseeing the table, making the table, manufacturing the table, putting the table together through distribution and all of that. And if y'all understand the high level I'm talking at right now, then you'll really get what I'm saying. But we will be involved in every step of the process for the people who didn't get that high level reference. So it will be, that table will be completely manufactured by us, for us. And FUBU did a really good job, but we're going to have that in these boardrooms too. Okay. So it's going to be something that we can do. But I like that white man courage right now. I mean, they are not afraid to speak up and interrupt people, no matter what meetings I'm on. Look, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, John. And let me tell you why. And I wish that we did that more often. Instead, we don't, because of being seen as, see me as that. See me as a inconsiderate Black woman, if that's what you got to see me as. But guess what? Y'all gonna listen to, no, I'm sorry. I need to say this point because the meeting's gonna close in an hour, because y'all always close meetings on time. Y'all don't let us argue for 3 hours like we do on every other call that I've been on. Y'all literally shut the meeting. Okay, well, that's nice. We'll take it under advisement. And then y'all just decide what you want to do anyway. So I do appreciate that they do get they click in before it's time. It may not work, but somebody's going to be impressed that they said that the way they said it, and they're going to call after and be like, I agree with you, man, and let's do something about that. And that's really what being courageous in that sense is about, is not losing your chance to speak up because you think you're going to look like the angry or the overly assertive Black woman. That's good. Be overly assertive. Take it. In fact, if somebody, man included, calls you too assertive, you tell him he's doing too much and he needs to go sit down because this is no longer that time or that season. Renee says this is so true. Imposter syndrome is so real, and she is so glad you overcame. I'm glad that you overcame too, because
Renee, I'm so happy you're here.
yes, Renee is with you, girl. But I'm really glad that you came, and I'm glad that you got over that imposter syndrome because your voice is so powerful. And when you speak, Akiesha, it just holds weight. Y'all had to go. Y'all got to go back and rewind the play. Listen to the first 20 minutes of Akiesha just talking to you from the dome. It's engaging, it's inviting, but it's also a way for her to assert herself again, because she's not just saying, hello, I'm Akiesha. She's saying, these are all the things that I do, and you better know that I'm gonna push my credentials across the table and hear all of that all right now. So don't come at me with no, can you do this for free, because I got it. But I will give you a pay what you can model. But let me let you know, there is people who pay me. So I'm just letting you know. So I'm just saying, like, Akiesha used to be the type of person that she just do it, and now she's the type of person that she'll do it and she'll find somebody else that will pay her what she's worth. And I believe she's worth more than gold. Renee said, hey, girl. So, thank you, Renee, for joining us and being interactive. I think you are probably the second person in the whole event that was able to get more interaction from the audience. So whoever your supporters are, good job, supporters, because you live during the talk. And Renee, just for commenting live during the talk, go ahead and send me a text message to 205-490-8068, including your name and email, and I'll send you a free copy of Dear Future Lawyer, just because I like engagement. I reward engagement. I'm not going to tell you why I'm giving you things. I'm just going to give them to you when I see things that will qualify. So I appreciate you engaging with Akiesha, because they need this, okay? And if I have to reward you by giving you my free stuff, well, I'll give you my free stuff. But I just really want you to do that. All right. So, Akiesha, do you have any offers that are connected to this event that you want to talk about right now?
Well, I do not have an offer, but I do have a plug. On Tuesday, I will be releasing my next course, and it is a mock application review where I literally will be going through an application. I have put in so much work, pulling all sorts of materials that form a law school admission application. And so I will be reviewing it with my former law school admissions hat on, so that you guys can see exactly what it is that goes through an admissions officer's mind when they're reviewing your application, how the process works, what you need to do, if you want to enhance your application, what good application materials look like, what not so good application materials look like. You are going to get a candid look inside, what the process looks like. So if you're interested in that, go to www.anderson.thinkific.com, and I'll actually type that in the comments.
You gotta do that. I already got you queued up. It's right there.
And sign up for that. So you can pre-order it currently, but it will release on Tuesday of this week. So yeah.
You got me. I sent you a message yesterday. And hey, I got you, Renee. Let me go back and look at my message. But just send me it again, girl, because a lot of people sent me a message yesterday and I really won't be able to find it. So just send me your email or drop it here and I'll find it. But just text me. It's easier for the office to send you that stuff. But that is the information that you guys need. So this is her website, Akiesha. This is literally all you got to do to find anything Akiesha. She's on thinkific.com and then add the Anderson part.
That's you can follow me on Instagram. My name is Ask Akiesha. That's my first name. So please follow me if you didn't already.
Yes, and if you need to email her directly, boom, at akiesha.anderson@gmail.com is literally her first and last name. If you don't know her first and last name, boom, there it is. All you got to do is take akiesha.anderson@gmail.com. Last but not least, Akiesha, is there any other way that they can contact you outside of what we've just mentioned?
Yeah, so you can reach me at my personal Gmail account. It does get kind of cluttered sometimes, but if you have something specifically related to my business, you can also reach me at askakiesha@gmail.com. So that's just ASK and then my first name at gmail.com. So there in Instagram, you can definitely get your hands on me.
Awesome.
My DMs if it's related.
And we have reached the end of the entire conference. I'm so glad that you guys were with us. Here is the good group flyers that you guys have been seeing, that the ladies have been posting. This is the person that you just heard from down here, Miss Akiesha Anderson. And not only did you hear from that wonderful woman, right? You heard from a whole lineup full of people, and you also got to see Akiesha in action. So if you want Akiesha to speak for you, clearly she's securing paid opportunities, guys. So come correct or don't come at all. I'm just kidding. You guys can still come, but just kind of, be fair. I tell people be fair and be honest. And here's a final run through of everybody that has come before Akiesha. Oh my goodness, you guys had so many amazing people come. I am so overwhelmed with joy that this is over and I can sleep now. I have not slept or eaten correctly for the past while. Fuss at me as you wish. I'm fine with that. I know in my life I'm supposed to do better. And then we finish everything off with Akiesha. So guys, I am so happy. I hope that Akiesha got a chance to speak life and encouraging it to you. If she did, please just email her, email my people and tell them that they did good. Go back and watch the full playlist. If you go to Nina R. Spear Law Firm, the YouTube page, we have the full playlist, so you can go find everything in a playlist and listen to it while you're sitting down at the house, not doing nothing, but you just sitting in your oversized t-shirt, eating some popcorn. Go listen to all these wonderful women speak and really do something about your business in 2020 and before 2021. I said before, not during. I said before 2021 because I really want you to be proactive, and that's what these women came together to hopefully inspire you to do. So if you guys enjoyed this and appreciated this, you can always leave a thumbs up in the comment box. This is my last attempt to try to get y'all to engage. Renee's already gotten herself a free book. I think I gave someone else a free book on the very first talk. But if there's anybody who wants to engage, now is the time to forever hold your peace for you guys to shout out all the different things that you have learned at this conference. Akiesha's going to go with me to the Zoom and give a final walkthrough of how she felt about this whole talk, and then we will be done. All I got to do is send out the thank you emails and some other email surprises. Y'all will get your surprises tomorrow as my speakers. I'm sorry. I have to do these things. I know you didn't ask for anything, but I do things for people in general. It's nothing big, but it's something small. I hope you appreciate it. And Akiesha, you will get your thank you / weird video very soon. Y'all just know. Just know I love y'all, and just know that I am not afraid to look embarrassing for y'all to show you guys how much I love you. So that video is for y'all. It's private use only. Do not share it to nobody else. It's just for y'all. That's why it's unlisted, but it's for you guys specifically to honor all the different women that I got a chance to see. And I guess y'all should see me before, but I got this stain on my shirt. So do not judge me. I'm going to put this thing over the stain on my shirt just so I can say goodbye. And so long, farewell to you, my friends. But it's not the last time we will see each other. This is the beginning of something new, a conference like no other. And there's 12 women together. And I just saw someone else on Instagram do the same thing. So I'm not going to say they copied. I'm just going to say they were inspired. So at the end of the day, these women have been amazing. If you are a journalist and you want to shout them out and let them know how great they are, I got a press release already queued up, ready for you to read through and go ahead and syndicate it to the news things that you know. So please reach out to us after you watch this last video. Keisha, any final words? Because you're going to close this out before I end this live for real.
No, thank you so much for coming, everyone. And I hope that this has been inspirational. So I hope to be in contact with you all some more soon. Thank you for this, Nina.
You're welcome. Nina out. Bye, guys.